We asked this question. It's Valentine's Day. The love is flowing. Who's the most beloved sports figure in Portland? If I ask you that question right away, who's the first name that comes to your mind?
You'd think it's Dane, but it's Brandon.
Oh, really?
It's Brandon.
I think it's...
I don't think anybody has a higher approval rate, even with a shorter time period, than Brandon.
I think it is rest in peace, Bill Walton. I think
Bill
Bill
also
Walton,
acceptable.
I think Bill Walton, in his time in Portland, was short.
Also short, and it ended messy.
Yeah.
That's the thing is like there was a separation of player from not only team but community. Like
even Brandon's got messy too with the Timberwolves stuff.
Yeah, but it didn't separate him from the community wholly in the sense of like
that got
messy between,
dirty, dude.
Well, it did. It got messy between Brandon and Paul.
Yeah.
I don't think it ever got messy between the fans because there was a time where Bill Walton was out on the Blazers as an organization.
Well, yeah, and he called out the medical staff, and he called out,
and he wouldn't even consider like acknowledging or recognizing anything other than Maurice Lucas.
And I think with both of those guys, though, with Brandon and Bill, it was that fans also understood, though, that their knees gave way, and the Blazers were like, or feet and knees for Bill. But there was this understanding of, we understand where your frustrations are, and if you want to keep playing, you got to keep playing. You can go and do it somewhere else, right? Dame demanding a trade out. I mean, that's why, like, you would think that Clyde would be in that conversation. Clyde's never going to come into anybody's mind. No. I mean, his son wants a statue built of Clyde Drexler here. I think a lot of fans are like, he's got Drexler Drive.
He's got a street.
And that's pretty good for him here.
Considering how it ended.
Yeah, considering how it ended. Brandon is so interesting because he was very reluctant to come back for several years as well. Very similar to Bill Walton.
Different reason, but yeah.
But it doesn't matter. He still didn't want to come back here, and it was a long time before he actually came back into the building.
Yeah,
and
up until 2 years ago.
Yeah,
officially.
Think of that.
He came once 3 years ago, unofficially. Like the team knew he was there.
He snuck in, but it wasn't like a public situation going on. But Dame could have a statue here eventually, and
he will
if he ever. Well, we don't have any, so I don't think we can sit there and say he'll have a statue. There's none.
I'd be willing to place a very sizable wager that he will have one.
Yeah. Boy, that one being the first one would be interesting.
I think they would do a couple.
Yeah.
I think it would probably be Dame, Walton, Sean's.
Walton and Sean's is another interesting one.
Do we have any room in here for a Kersey or a Duck?
Oh, no. That was after.
Jerome was always my favorite player,
I was just going to say, Jerome and Duck, for both very different reasons. Jerome, not that he wasn't a great person, because he was, but Duck was gregarious in public. I mean, just anybody that ever interacted with Duck.
Yep.
I've never, ever run into anyone with a bad Kevin Duckworth story. Ever.
I think this is a good one, too, and it kind of goes outside, but
Should we pull this?
Yeah, sure. But I think if you want to talk about impact on the area and you want to talk about the impact of the sport that they were involved with, this text on the Vancouver Ford text line 503-864-6326. Beloved but criminally underrated Clive Charles. Rest in peace.
Oh, yeah.
In the soccer community, not just at the University of Portland, but going way back, that continues now to the impact of what he did at the University of Portland for soccer, and then the game of soccer in Portland, Soccer City, right?
I went to school with his daughter.
He was a huge part of that community, the soccer community. And he is criminally underrated in that regard. I'm not a soccer guy, but I know Clive Charles, and he's got a mural up by Providence Park. I think on. God, I don't know what the name of that building is anymore. I don't know. But yeah, Clive Charles that's a good one.
Yeah,
that's a good one. But I think if you're going the most beloved, it's going to be a Blazer, somebody associated with the Blazers, most likely. Whether it is Dame, Bill Walton is mine. Brandon Roy for a lot of people is.
Brandon's the only this is mildly emotional. Brandon's the only player that has ever made me cry. That's
Okay.
the only so like that what he did in that game 4 against Dallas was so just nuts, knowing what he was dealing with. And that to me will always have that emotion. Like, don't get me wrong, Dame's accolades are insane, and I love him.
Yeah, that's the thing with Brandon is that the success as a team,
Not wasn't there.
not there.
His connection to the community in such a short period.
Well, it was tearing the Blazers out of the abyss of the Jailblazer era. And he was the poster boy for that. And like the guy who, if you want to say is, we talk about criminally underrated, Clive Charles is up there. LaMarcus Aldridge needs to be up there because he's not beloved here.
No.
But he is criminally underrated because everybody just points to Brandon Roy and forgets
that the other guy that
about
was here was
LaMarcus
9
Aldridge.
for years.
And over those years was dominant too.
I mean, LaMarcus for me is on the Mount Rushmore of Trailblazers.
Yeah.
Like that's
really,
yeah, 100%.
I wouldn't go that far. I mean, you're talking 4 best players:
Dame, Bill, Clyde, LaMarcus.
Dame, Bill, Clyde, and LaMarcus. Boy, it's pretty damn good.
I mean, who was better than LaMarcus? Other than those 3 guys, legitimate. Like, take everything else aside, who was better than him?
I think if you go out and you say, all right, team success in their era, what they did for their team.
Sure, you could talk about Terry or
got Terry Porter, Maurice Lucas would be on there as well. I think that Dr. Jack would probably be on there as well as a coach because of how damn successful he was as the head coach of the Trailblazers. But yeah,
LaMarcus is going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
LaMarcus is going to be in the Hall of Fame. How many Blazers are in the Hall of Fame? With the majority of their career as Trailblazers.
Yeah, from just the play standpoint, I see exactly where you're coming from. But everything else is what came with it, and that's why he's one of the most criminally underrated.
I know where I'm one of the foremost LaMarcus Aldridge appreciators.
Yeah,
like, I am fully aware of that. Like, when you talk about criminally underrated, he is one of the most. He is the most criminally underrated Trailblazer.
Yeah,
full stop. He was incredible.
Yeah, man, it's a good point. That's a good point. All right, 5-0. Where does Tanya Harding rank on the beloved Portland sports figures? At one point, she would have been up there.
She would have been mile high.
And then the Nancy Kerrigan thing happened.
Unless you,
that's pretty bad. That's a pretty big one.
Unless you really don't like Nancy Kerrigan.
Yeah. So maybe does Brooke like Tanya Harding then? Because
she got
if you don't know this one, Nancy Kerrigan would not take a picture with her.
Sign an autograph.
Or sign an autograph. Oh, Nancy. All right. 503-864-6326. I would vandalize the Dame statue if they put it up. That texture coming in. I would spell the word Miami and dog poop on it. That's a little aggressive. What if Dame comes back and finishes his career in Portland?
If he has it his way, he will.
Yeah. If he comes back and he finishes his career in Portland, will that win back other people?
The people that left?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Some of them. He'll peel off some. He'll peel off some of them. We all know pettiness and grudges. It runs deep.
They do.
It runs deep.
As an aside, LaMarcus is a 5-time All-NBA player.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
He's going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Everybody gets in that Hall of Fame, too.
Well,
that basketball Hall of Fame is full.
Oh, I mean, if you hit 5-time All-NBA,
yeah, you in.
It's basically you're in.
How many? 3 of them in Portland?
Let's see. 3 in Portland.
3 in Portland.
3 in Portland, including 1, 2, 3, 4 All-Star appearances in Portland.
Okay.